In the critical months of 1943, as the air war over Europe turned decisively against the German Reich, a technological marvel was hidden away in development hangars, the Messerschmitt Me 262. Powered by twin Junkers Juno 004 turbojets, it was the world's first operational jet fighter, capable of flying at over 540 miles per hour, faster than any Allied propeller-driven aircraft in existence. To fighter generals like Adolf Galland, this was the ultimate defensive equalizer, a machine capable of systematically tearing through the Allied bomber fleets and regaining control of the skies. However, the jet was plagued by severe industrial bottlenecks. The scarce, high-strength metals needed for the turbine blades were almost impossible to secure, leading to constant engine failures and production delays. Worse still, a catastrophic strategic decision from the highest level of command crippled the project. Adolf Hitler insisted that this sleek, high-speed interceptor be modified into a fast bomber, the Schnellbomber. Hitler envisioned squadrons of jets carrying bombs to strike the Allied invasion forces during the anticipated landings in France. This command forced engineers to completely redesign the airframe, delaying mass production by several crucial months. As a result, when the Allies began their massive build-up in southern England, the revolutionary jets remained grounded, parked in rain-slicked hangars, while conventional propeller planes tried desperately to hold the line. This strategic blunder meant that the most advanced fighter in the world played no role in the critical air defense of Western Europe, setting the stage for a dramatic alternative history had the interceptor version been prioritized. Let us delve into the dark archives of this forgotten what-if scenario. In this alternative timeline, the German Luftwaffe High Command refuses to accept Hitler's strategic blunders. Supported by influential officers and industrial planners, General Adolf Galland successfully argues that the Messerschmitt Me 262 must remain a pure high-speed air superiority fighter. By late 1943, the German war economy undergoes a massive logistical pivot. Recognizing the existential threat of a two-front invasion, planners divert critical tungsten and chromium reserves from experimental armor programs directly to the Junkers engine factories, solving the turbine reliability bottleneck. Instead of centralized, vulnerable industrial hubs, production is dispersed into a network of highly camouflaged woodland airfields and cavernous underground salt mines. Deep beneath the earth, away from the devastating Allied bombing raids, thousands of forced laborers and skilled technicians assembled the sleek jet airframes. By the spring of 1944, these hidden factories are operating at peak efficiency, churning out hundreds of operational Me 262 jets. Instead of carrying heavy, drag-inducing external bomb racks, these aircraft are equipped with their original deadly nose-mounted armament. 4 30mm Mk108 autocannons. German pilots, trained in advanced jet tactics on secret runways hidden deep within the Bavarian pine forests, form elite new fighter wings. By May of 1944, just weeks before the Allied Armada set sail, over 300 fully operational jet fighters are combat-ready, stationed at reinforced, concrete-sheltered airfields across northern France, poised to sweep the skies clean and contest the upcoming invasion with overwhelming force. As dawn breaks on June the 6th, 1944, the largest invasion fleet in human history emerges from the morning fog off the coast of Normandy. Under the protective cover of thousands of Allied fighter planes, slow-moving, propeller-driven spotter aircraft like the Piper L-4 Grasshopper and modified Spitfires hover over the beaches. Their vital mission is to spot German defensive gun positions on the cliffs and guide the massive naval bombardment from the battleships offshore. In our history, these spotters operated with total impunity, allowing Allied battleships to systematically obliterate the Atlantic wall defenses. But in this timeline, the skies are suddenly torn apart. Diving out of the grey clouds at over 500 miles per hour, squadrons of Messerschmitt Me 262 jets sweep over the coast. Flying at speeds that render Allied anti-aircraft fire and propeller fighters completely useless, the German jets target the Allied spotter planes. With devastating bursts from their 30mm cannons, the jets systematically vaporized the slow artillery spotters, sending them spiraling into the cold waters of the English Channel. The Allied fighter escorts, flying P-47 Thunderbolts and Spitfires, tried desperately to turn and engage the intruders, but the jets refused to dogfight, using their massive speed advantage to strike and zoom back into the clouds. Within hours, the skies over Normandy are completely blinded. Deprived of their aerial eyes, the colossal battleships offshore, like HMS Warspite, are forced to fire blindly into the thick coastal fog, their shells landing harmlessly miles away from the reinforced German bunkers, leaving the infantry on the beaches entirely exposed. The consequences of blinding the Allied fleet are immediate and catastrophic on the blood-soaked sands of Omaha and Juno beaches. In our history, the massive naval bombardment from Allied battleships shattered the German concrete fortifications and pinned down the defenders, allowing the first waves of infantry to breach the sea wall. But in this timeline, with the naval spotters destroyed by the sweeping Me-262 jets, the German artillery batteries and concrete pillboxes remain completely intact. As the landing craft doors drop open, American and British soldiers step into a wall of unyielding machine gun and artillery fire. The fortified strongpoints of the Atlantic Wall, untouched by the blind naval guns, unleash a devastating crossfire across the wet sand. Allied tanks, designed to support the infantry, are knocked out by German anti-tank guns before they can even crawl out of the surf. Pinned down behind steel hedgehogs and low shingle walls, the Allied troops are unable to advance, trapped in a deadly meat grinder. Calls for close air support from P-47 Thunderbolts and Typhoons go unanswered, as the Allied air forces are forced to divert all their resources to defend their own bombers and transport ships from the high-speed jet attacks. The Beachhead becomes a chaotic mess of burning landing craft, stalled tanks and pinned down infantry as the German defenders hold their ground with absolute tenacity, turning the Normandy landings into a bloody, insurmountable stalemate under a dark, smoke-filled sky. As the day wears on, the air over northern France turns into a desperate battle of attrition. The Allied Air Supreme Command, shocked by the sudden appearance of hundreds of German jet fighters, launches every available squadron of Spitfires, P-51 Mustangs and P-47 Thunderbolts to regain control of the skies. But they quickly realize they are facing a completely outclassed opponent. The Me-262 is simply too fast. Flying in disciplined high-speed dive and zoom formations, the German jet pilots refuse to get sucked into slow-speed turning dogfights where the nimble Allied propeller planes hold the advantage. Instead, the jets streak through the Allied formations, scattering the fighter escorts and diving directly onto the slow-moving troop transport planes and gliders. Allied pilots look out of their glass canopies in absolute disbelief as the twin-engine jets flash past them, leaving their fastest Mustangs far behind in a trail of heat and smoke. Even the heavy anti-aircraft flak batteries protecting the Allied fleet cannot track the high-speed targets. Multiple Allied fighter squadrons are systematically decimated, their burning fuselages spiraling down into the green pastures of Normandy, while the German jets return to their reinforced concrete runways to refuel and rearm. The air superiority that the Allies had meticulously built up over years of strategic bombing is shattered in a matter of hours, throwing the entire invasion plan into complete and absolute chaos as the skies burn. By nightfall on June 6, 1944, the hard truth becomes undeniable. The Allied invasion of Normandy has failed. With their landing forces pinned to the bloody beaches, their naval artillery blinded, and their air superiority shattered by the untouchable Me-262, the Allied command is forced to order a desperate, costly evacuation. The failure of D-Day shifts the entire course of the Second World War. In Washington and London, military planners are forced to regroup, realizing that a successful cross-channel invasion cannot be attempted again for at least another year. This delay gives the German war economy a vital breathing room, but it does not change the ultimate outcome of the war. Germany's defeat remains a mathematical certainty, as they lack the oil, raw materials, and manpower to resist the combined weight of the global coalition. However, the timeline of liberation is dramatically rewritten. While the Western Allies are stalled in Britain, the Soviet Red Army continues its relentless, massive advance from the east. Rolling forward in unstoppable columns of T-34 tanks, the Soviets sweep through Poland, the Balkans, and deep into Western Europe. By the time Germany finally collapses in late 1945, the Red Army has advanced all the way to the Rhine, capturing the entirety of Germany, Austria, and even parts of eastern France. When the war finally ends, the Iron Curtain falls much further west than in our history, leaving the Soviet Union in control of almost the entire European continent.